Good evening, I'm David Marcus.
And I'm Stephanie Beruggi, and here's what's coming up on the news at 5. Wild wind, a powerful gust played havoc with parts of the valley. We'll show you some of the damage left behind. Storm aftermath, emergency crews are working overtime to help those affected by the wild weather. And World AIDS Day, people are remembering those lost by the deadly virus and helping others trying to survive. The news at 5 starts right now.
This is the 5 o'clock news on KSEE 24. News that matters.
I'm thinking, is this really happening? You know, it's going to land on us.
Mother Nature has her way with the valley today. One woman narrowly escapes a tree landing on her car. Just one of many dramatic weather-related incidents that happened today. And the wind has certainly been causing havoc all across the valley today. Winds
of up to 45 miles an hour have helped to create a lot of damage to parts of Fresno and Clovis. It also caused a child to fall in a swimming pool.
Mother Nature's wrath in the valley. It is our top story today at 5. A 2-year-old is in critical condition tonight after falling into a neighbor's swimming pool. Police say the wind knocked down the family's backyard fence. The little boy walked over the broken boards and fell into the pool. Now, police say the family noticed the boy was missing and immediately called police.
Upon our arrival, EMS had already responded and had been giving the CPR to the child.
And it was a very bad accident that I feel so bad for them. And since I met that little boy a couple days ago, and I never thought this would end up like that.
Neighbors were visibly shaken by the news. The 2-year-old was rushed to the hospital, and officials say they are unsure as to whether that boy will survive.
In northeast Fresno, the wind left its mark at Fort Washington Golf Course. It ripped several trees from the roots. They could be found along the course and in the yards of some homes nearby. The golf course will be closed tomorrow and possibly Saturday.
Well, today's storm has uprooted hundreds of trees across the valley.
Crews have been working nonstop to clear away all of the damage.
Jobin Paneker joins us live with a glimpse into all today's destruction. Jobin.
David, yeah, it was nonstop. You'd hear about one tree going down, and then 5 minutes later, another tree, and then another tree, and it's likely, even as we speak, another tree. Mother Nature showed her power today. Winds topped 45 miles an hour. These palm trees bowed to that power. Other trees didn't stand a chance. Here on First and Bullard, 2 trees blocked the road. What you can't see is Hilda Ramirez's car.
And I'm thinking, is this really happening? You know, it's going to land on us.
Thankfully, she put on the brakes. It landed on her hood. She was with 2 others. They climbed out, and 10 minutes later, another tree crashed down on the back.
It's kind of just went like this, hoping that, you know, I wasn't going to get, you know, too crushed.
At Minnewawa and Barstow, crews were busy slicing up 2 150-foot trees, and a third had a serious slant. Nathan Buckley can hear it all from his living room, but it doesn't compare to the sound of 2 falling trees.
What was your reaction? Holy crap.
Imagine coming home from school in the middle of changing to have a tree come crashing in. Molly Francis wants a Christmas tree in her house, but not like this.
Like the whole entire roof caved in, and like everything is on the floor. Like the tree is in my house.
This poor guy has to work on a day like today. Cody Kerwin is with landscaping. I guess it's fighting fire with fire, but Mother Nature's fire is just a little bigger.
The wind starts to blow and then they start scattering and it just makes double the work.
After all is said and done, crews can just pray for double the work because cleaning up this mess could take a while. And we talked with cleaning crews about how long it will take, and one person said days, several days, about 2 to 3. So back to you guys.
It really was an incredible day. Thank you, Jobin. Now the city has announced both Woodward and Roding Park have been shut down because of today's high winds.
Thousands in the valley are without power right now. In Fresno, more than 22,000 people still in the dark. According to PG&E, trees falling into power lines, the biggest problem. Fresno fire crews have responded to 2 separate house fires, and they believe broken power lines started the blazes.
Anytime you have lines down, it adds a little element of danger, and you could lose firefighters in a second. Remember, it's just not the line that's dangerous, but the area electrifies.
More than 20 PG&E crews are repairing the lines throughout the city, and the company believes most people will have their power restored at some point tonight.
Well, power lines also went down in a North Fresno neighborhood this afternoon. It happened at Shepherd and Millbrook. 4 power lines went down and left several people in danger of being electrocuted. We spoke with one of the drivers stuck near those fallen lines, and she describes how it all happened.
And then I'm driving along, and the first thing I saw was the sparks of the telephone wire or telephone pole coming down, and then the tree came down with it.
Thankfully, no one was hurt today. Fresno city officials also closed Woodward and Roding parks. As we mentioned earlier, they were closed because of high winds. 3 or 4 large trees went down at Roding, and both parks have a number of small trees down. The parks will reopen after city officials assess all the damage.
Fresno cleanup crews were spread thin today because of all the damage. The city says dozens of incidents happening all at the same time depleted the resources. Justin Willis is live from East Central Fresno with more on that. Justin.
Well, Stephanie, a lot of city workers were diverted from their normal duties today just so they could help clean up all this damage from the wind. The Fresno Street Maintenance Division says it called for help from solid waste and other departments just so they could get a handle on the damage. Fires were started, trees were uprooted, and traffic was diverted. About 100 workers were out at a time cleaning up dozens of incidents scattered throughout the city. The Fresno Fire Department responded to multiple incidents as well, so much so that low priority calls were suspended while workers dealt with the damage.
What makes it even more challenging is if there's an electrical wire in the mix. So a lot of times we'll have to stand by and wait for PG&E or some of our street light repair electricians to come out and make the tree safe, de-energize the circuit so the tree crews can begin clearing the obstruction.
Now, there are a couple of things you need to know if you've got wind-related damage in your part of town and you need help. First, crews have been having a hard time getting to cleanup calls quickly, so please be patient. Also, you should avoid parking under trees while the high winds persist. Now, they may not get to it right away, but the city does want you to call if there is a tree down in your area. The number for that is 621-CITY. Again, that number, 621-CITY. We're live in East Central Fresno. Justin Willis, KSEE 24 News. Stephanie, back to you.
Justin, thank you. And county fire crews have also increased staffing. CAL FIRE says it's responded to 23 incidents due to power line failure. The agency's largest fire consumed 8 acres.
Now, of course, all day long we've been hearing from all of you. Many have been sending in photos of all the damage they have encountered out on the roadways. And
there's been plenty of activity on KSEE24.com. This was sent to us from Mark Hammonds. A tree blocked the parking area of downtown Fresno. We'd like to see your photos as well, and we do have a special section dedicated to storm photos, so feel free to add yours all from all around the valley.
If you have a wild weather photo you would like to share with us, very easy. Just email it to newsdesk@ksee.com. And the man of the hour right now, of course, AJ Fox, who has been monitoring all today's events all day long. And AJ, really a wild day we have never seen here before.
Actually, we have seen this before.
Oh, okay. Well, then I stand corrected.
We were all quite a bit younger. In fact, I recall a fairly significant windstorm in the Bakersfield area in the 70s. And so there was a lot of dust that was kicked up at that time. So we have had wind events like this. They're rare. They don't happen very often, but this is not completely unheard of. The reason why this happened is because of a fairly strong low-pressure system, and you can see it on our satellite picture. It's down in Southern California and Arizona, and we have got some showers associated with that, but essentially what it does is draw the wind right on into the valley and in through the valley and into higher elevations as well. So the high wind warning over the higher elevations of the Sierra remains in effect until 4 a.m. tomorrow. However, the wind advisory on the valley floor set to expire at 6, so less than an hour away. Now that the wind is starting to die down, the cold air has a chance to move in. We've already got frost advisories issued on the valley floor, and you're going to feel how much colder it's going to get for tonight. Winds have died down to less than 10 miles per hour in Fresno, but still strong in Merced at 20 miles per hour, just under that in Mendota, Coalinga, and Los Banos. And look at the difference in temperatures. Where the winds are still coming out of the north, we're still in the 60s, but we've dropped into the lower 50s in Fresno. We had a high temperature of 69 today, so this is a significant drop. The wind in the south part of the valley has been a lot less than in the North Valley and in the higher elevations, and so their temperatures never had a chance to get very warm. They're in the lower 50s now across the South Valley. Up in the mountains, still 79 mile per hour winds in Yosemite, 30 mile per hour winds in Shaver Lake, Sequoia National Park, and Mariposa, where temperatures range from lower 30s to lower 50s. Temperatures tonight down to 45 by 11 o'clock under clear skies, and things are calming down after a bit of frost in the morning. We're talking about temperatures up to 58 degrees. That's a bit cooler than today. Morning lows are what we're going to talk about for the weekend. We're going to have some frost, and it might be a fairly significant issue. I'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, AJ, thanks so much. Fresno's Catholic family is celebrating the appointment of a new bishop. Bishop Armando Xavier Ochoa has been appointed by Pope Benedict. He'll be coming to Fresno next week to meet his new family. Ochoa has been serving as the bishop of El Paso, Texas since 1996. Those attending Mass in downtown Fresno say it's an exciting time. They've been anticipating the appointment of a new bishop for about a year.
It's very exciting because it's like we've now been appointed a new father to guide and to lead his church.
Fresno has been without a bishop since the passing of Bishop Steinbach in December. In a statement released this morning, Bishop Ochoa says he's honored to receive the appointment and plans to make his first visit to the diocese next week.
The juvenile accused of killing a Hanford woman appeared in court for a preliminary hearing today. 17-year-old Jose Saldana is facing murder charges for the death of Denise McVeigh. And our Audrey Assistio joins us now live on the phone with the very latest from Kings County Courthouse. Audrey.
Yes, well, David, Jose Saldana is accused of stabbing Denise McVeigh more than 60 times at a car wash in Hanford in July. Now, the McVeigh family was in the courtroom as the judge heard from a couple witnesses. They first heard from the investigating officer in charge of the case. He explained all of the evidence he found. He described the numerous stab wounds on McVeigh's body, including carvings on her back that read X4. Now, Mauricio Ortiz also took the stand. He's accused of being an accessory to the murder. He said Saldana told him he stabbed a lady. Ortiz described how they went to the mall and casino and how Saldana showed him the knife he used for the stabbing. Now, as you could imagine, the McVeigh family was very emotional when hearing all of this. We'll hear from McVeigh's sister during our newscasts later tonight. For now, I'm Audrey Assistio reporting live at Kings County Courthouse for KSEE 24 News. Now back to you.
All right, Audrey, thank you very much. Still ahead tonight, it's not just officers in blue uniforms that save lives.
Two of Fresno's finest are honored for their work behind the scenes.
Plus, December 1st is also World AIDS Day, how Valley residents are raising awareness. But first, here's what's coming up on Nightly News.
Evening, everybody. Coming up tonight, the quiet spying on all of us that's going on inside millions of cell phones, and you can't stop it. We'll have the story here for you tonight.
You're watching KSEE 24 News at 5.
This is the News at 5 with Stephanie Perusian and David Marcus. Chief Meteorologist A.J. Fox. Sports with Anthony Flores. And the entire KSEE 24 News team. Bringing you the news that matters.